just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able.
So it's going, everything's going on the timer. All right, let's get into it, dude. Wow. What is up, guys? And welcome to the DTI podcast, aka Disrupt the Industry, where we are going to be covering everything from fitness to nutrition to mindset to personal health and development when it comes to being a man. So I'm very, very, very excited to hop in everything. And this is the first episode back from the rebranding, because we used to be You're Up Next, but now we are Disrupt the Industry. So I'm really, really, really excited to get into everything, guys. Now, if I don't seem as energetic, it's simply because I have the craziest headache, and that's going to be explained in episode 2. But what I want to do in this episode is take the next 15, possibly 20 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes to explain my prep, right? I think that's super, super, super important, guys. I want to break down everything, give you the dirty details, and I think you're going to be like super shocked at a lot of the things I say. So coming into it, so basically I wanted to compete in a bodybuilding show, and I decided I wanted to do that in October. No, actually wrong. I decided I wanted to do that in August of 2021. Now, I decided I wanted to compete in August of 2021, guys, but what ended up happening is I actually ended up competing in July of 2023. So you see how that works? Not everybody's ready to hop into a show or hop into a prep to go compete. And I think that's super important. This is not a sport where you just go in and half-ass. Like, you need to be developed and you need to be ready to actually step on that stage. Now, as to why I wanted to compete, my reasons actually changed. So the original reason why I wanted to compete was because my roommate, Alan, actually competed. And not only did he compete, he won the whole show in Classic Physique. And through doing that, he got an Alpha Elite sponsorship, and he just grew in so many amazing ways. And I looked at that and I said, I want to get that Alpha Elite sponsorship, and I want to grow in such amazing ways. And that's when I made the decision to hire a coach, and then, or hire a second coach, a competition-based coach, and then whole other topics, whole other video for another time. But I hired my first competition bodybuilding coach, right? But that's why I wanted to compete in summer shredding. Now, over time, I'm going to be super blunt and straightforward. I started training. My goal changed, and it wasn't really as much to become an Alpha Elite sponsored athlete anymore. That's not something I particularly cared about over time. What I actually cared about over time was growing as a coach and growing my business. And truth be told, I wanted to expand my business into the realm of competition coaching. I wanted to compete and just push my limits, guys. It's not even just about growing your business. It was about wanting to compete, wanting to push your limits. And I can say over time, my goals changed from wanting to be an Alpha Elite athlete through winning the whole competition to what's going to be actually competing to test my mental boundaries, test my physical strength, see where all the years of work have led up to, and then to grow my business as a counterpart, as like a side effect of that. So I competed, and I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't change one thing about the prep. Now, I know this is going to sound so weird, especially because of what I'm about to tell you after this, but I wouldn't have changed one thing about the prep. I learned and grew in so many different ways, shapes, and form during the prep, as a businessman, as a person, as a son. That's a big one. As a son, as a brother, as a friend, as an athlete. I grew in so many different ways, and that's why I wouldn't change anything about the prep. And I'll say this, guys. If you can prep and it's something that you want to do for the right reasons, then I say do it. Because I'm going to say some stuff after this, and it's going to sound like I'm demonizing the sport of bodybuilding, and that's not what the point of this podcast is. I actually encourage this sport. I encourage you to go out and compete, and I encourage you to push yourself, and I encourage you to go out there and become a champion. I really can't stress that enough. I really do encourage you to do that. I love bodybuilding. I think it's like an amazing, amazing thing. Now, coming into what is going to be my experience with the first bodybuilding show, I had so much fun on stage. When I was sitting there warming up and just getting ready to go on stage on the big day, it was so amazing. I was so confident. I was so happy. And I thought I was going to take literally top 3 in my class. I did not think I was going to take the overall, guys, but I thought I was going to take top 3 in my class. And this show taught me a crap ton of lessons, guys, because backstage, me and Jacob and Ryan are all looking at everyone back there, and we're like, Dre, like, you literally are, like, it's not even competition. You're smoking everybody. You're conditioning. You're the most dry and shredded here. You have big, full, round muscle bellies. Like, you're going to take this. And, guys, I got on that stage and I did my posing routine, and something about my posing routine was I rushed it a little bit, and that was one of the feedbacks I got from the judges was just perfect my posing and be a little more fluid on my posing transitions. So I understand, but even then, let's be honest. Like, I don't know. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that loser who's like, oh, the judges. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But subjectively, you're on that stage and then someone gets calls out and it's not you and you're shocked. And then another person gets calls out and it's not you and you're shocked. And then all these people get called out and you're just standing there. And eventually the final kid gets called out in front of me. And all respect to everyone who competed, guys. Like, I'm not coming at anyone, but I'm just going to be subjective and honest because I'm an honest individual. My man's had no chest. He had no back. We're not working with a lot here. And you're standing there and you have to have a smile on your face. And you're literally just feel like breaking down in tears. But you can't because you're smiling. You got to hold your pose. And you have to actually play the part. You're still on the stage. You can't just walk off the stage. And everyone was so shocked when I came off the stage, man. They were, and it's not that I have a circle that's like, bro, anyone who knows me knows my circle is the first one to just roast me. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you're in your head. But a lot of people who are close to me who normally just straight up are always play devil's advocate were like, yo, listen, I just want you to know you should have been placed a lot higher. And I was like, thank you. It means a lot. And the fact of the matter is, like, Jacob was shocked. Ryan was shocked. Jaws were on the floor. But at the same time, I wouldn't change one thing, guys. I brought an insane package, and I would have rather brought the package I brought and not placed as opposed to bringing a crappy package and like stealing a medal away. So I will say that. But I'm going to come back. I don't know if it's going to be October 2024. I don't know if it's going to be July of 2024. I don't even know if it's going to be October or I don't even know if it's going to be July 2025. But I'm going to come back. And I do like the summer shredding show. I do like that it's bigger. I understand NPC. I actually might even do an NPC. Who knows? But I do like summer shredding, and I appreciate Christian and everyone for putting on an insane show. And I wouldn't change one thing, guys. It was like the best experience in my life. Now, I need to start with that because I do not want to push any of you away from the sport. And I know, despite what I'm saying now, at the end of this video, a lot of you are going to be pushed away from the sport. And I apologize. That's not my purpose. That's not why I want to do this. But I need to explain kind of the dark side of what happened and what went down. In all seriousness. And I think that's super important. So this is a super, super, super hard video for me to actually make because, and I'll start by saying this, guys, to this day, I have no ill feelings or bad blood towards anyone. And I don't think anyone has any ill feelings or bad blood towards me. I just think it was a learning experience on both parties. But my friend Eric came over this morning and was like, bro, you need to talk about this. And I kind of already had the same thoughts last night, but I really wanted to nail this home. And my rock through the whole prep, Alex, is like behind the camera, all to the side, helping me with everything. And he's known everything I've said so far, but he doesn't know what I'm about to say next. And like, this is going to be like a super raw and emotional and real moment. So, and it's just again, like, this is the first time I'm talking about it besides the people like Eric and Lauren, and Adam. And so basically what happened was I put my trust in a coach on January 1st. And guys, when you trust a coach to put you through something like a bodybuilding prep, listen, it doesn't matter if there are better coaches out there. Here's the fact of the matter. You're not going to hire the most expensive coach in the world. You're not going to hire Hani Rambod to prep you. And you're not going to hire Vince Pitstick to do your health coaching for you. Like, you're just not going to do it. Like, I'm just throwing that out there. You're not hiring Alan Kress to do your health coaching for you. it's just not going to happen. Like, you're going to get an assistant coach under them or someone who's learned from them. And, and I'll say, just going from a functional standpoint, like functional nutrition, I'm learning from Vince. So again, it's not all bad. They pass their legacy down in different ways. So like the idea of looking for the best coach is a myth, and that's BS. Okay. And it kind of leads into this lesson right here is I knew there were better coaches. I knew there were better prep coaches. I knew there were better coaches for training than the person I decided to put my trust in. Like, I knew there was better coaches in every single aspect by a long haul. The only sole reason that the person I hired was because I truthfully thought that they cared about me. And here's what I'll say. They do. I truly do believe they do care about me on a certain level, right? I truly do believe that. But you're told to, and I hate myself for this because I'm someone who preaches. I can literally go back on my Instagram story and find the stories where I preach, like, hey, like, guys, like, if you hire a coach, stop questioning them. Like, you need to trust them. You need to put your 100% trust in them, and you need to trust the process. And if the outcome does not go the way you want, then that's your fault for making the mistake, and you're going to learn from the experience and get a new coach. And guys, you're sitting there for months trusting the process. You're not missing a macro. You're not missing anything. Like, you're just doing every single thing. And then one day I wake up literally 6 weeks out. Guys, when I'm telling you, I just actually almost had a mental breakdown, like a panic attack. Like, I just like wanted to throw up every time I looked at myself in the mirror. Not because I didn't like the way I looked, but because I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm actually 12 weeks out from a show that is 6 weeks away. And guys, like, that's not an over exaggeration, but it's also something where that's bad. If you're 6 weeks out from a show, your physique should look 4 weeks out. If you're 8 weeks out from a show, your physique should look 6 weeks out, meaning you should be ready for your show 2 weeks earlier. And I was behind twofold, like 12 weeks. I was 6 weeks out. I looked 12 weeks. And I made an executive decision to step away and get help elsewhere. And that's turned out to be like the best decision of my life. Like, I got in contact through my friend Ryan with Jacob, and Jacob saved the whole prep. Now, guys, I brought an insane package. Sorry, we brought an insane package on that stage because of Jacob and myself. I would say more Jacob, give all the credit to him, man. He really, really just pulled a miracle off, and I'm so proud of what we accomplished on stage. But there is going to be a dark side to that. And the dark side is you have a physique that's 12 weeks out, and you prep for 6 weeks at a 12-week starting point. Your approach is going to be a lot more aggressive. It's not crash dieting, because you guys don't even like crash dieting. Is just like you cut your carbs and you just do a bunch of cardio. Like, that's not what we did. We did not crash diet. We had a strategic plan. It was very aggressive. It could be compared to crash dieting, but it wasn't. And this is where things get a little bit tricky, guys. Okay. Every decision I made through this prep is on me. I made the decision to hire the original coach, which means it's on me. Okay. I made the decision when it was 12 weeks out, or no, when it was 6 weeks out and everybody told me, hey, just push the show to a later date. I'm the person who made the decision that said, no, like, I'm going to do the show that I signed up for. And it really, really is all on me. Every decision I made, from the coach that I chose originally to my decision to continue and get ready for a show that I had no business getting ready for, even though we got ready and we brought one of the best physiques there. So I'm not going to discredit myself there, guys. I'm going to be I'm a real person, bro. I'm not going to discredit myself. We literally brought one of the best physiques there, hands down. And anyone who knows me knows how hard I am on myself. So that's saying something. But we brought one of the best physiques there, but it's my fault. It's my fault I chose the original coach. It's my fault that I decided to do the prep. So let's just get that out of the way. Like, it's my fault, okay? Everything that has happened negatively is my fault, okay? Now, the result of doing a prep, right, so aggressively in those last 6 weeks is going to be the lack of control I had with food after. Guys, the night of the show was not bad. It was honestly very standard. It was like I went to a steakhouse, had a milkshake after, and I went to bed. It was super, super standard, guys. There was nothing wrong with what I did the night of the show, right? There was nothing wrong with that. Now, I'll tell you this. It's about literally 8 days post-show, and I probably have had no days since then under, like, each day since the show, it's been 7,000 to 8,000 calories. 7,000 to 8,000 calories a day. And here's the thing, guys. I am not somebody who hyperfixates on how I look. And I know that sounds so crazy coming from the fitness coach. I think it's cool to have the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson body over like the shredded beach body. Like, I truthfully am cool with like being a jacked mofo instead of being like shredded year round. I'm truly, truly cool with that. But guys, I was like very, very, very upset with myself because of the lack of control. And the best way to describe it is your stomach is not hungry, but your mouth is. I don't even know how to describe it, but I just couldn't stop eating. I could not stop eating. Like, I'm talking like cookies, like milkshakes, because you've restricted yourself for so long, and you go from having all this strictness to having absolutely no boundaries. You have complete food freedom, and I'm just eating all this food. And again, it has nothing to do with like how I look or my body dysmorphia, right? It all had to do with the fact that I couldn't mentally pull myself together. And I think that's like so scary, is not being able to mentally pull yourself together. And where this lesson comes full circle, guys, I'm going to bring the lesson full circle, and then I'm going to tell you how I fixed it, okay? The lesson comes full circle because if I didn't pick a coach that did not have his 100% invest in me in the start, I know that my post-show eating habits would not be as bad, because I've talked to Eric, and it's just so awesome to have Eric and Alan here just literally telling me, like, we know you're not a big eater, so the fact that this is happening is absolutely ludicrous. Like, we know that for this to have happened, this is like, it's just something that really took a hit on you. And it's so true, because I've done cuts before. I've lost 20, 30 pounds before. And those first couple of weeks after, yeah, you're a little food focused. But after that, it's just like it goes away. This was not going away, guys. And again, if I had picked someone who cared about me from the start, the reverse would not be this bad. Like the binging, I don't even want to say binging, because that's like such a word that you need to actually know the definition of what it means. Like the excessive overeating, the 7,000 to 8,000 calorie days, I know would not be happening. And I'll say this, it is a very common thing on prep to do that. 10,000 calories for days and days on end, 8,000 calories for days and days on end. Like, I'm not an anomaly, and I understand that, but I do know myself and I do know my body. And if I was just taken care of a little better and had enough care, and if I was just like looked after more by the person who was supposed to look after me, the person that I put my trust in, I genuinely know that I would not be in this situation. Trust me, because it's like hard to talk about. Seriously, you put all your trust in someone, and then the result of that, again, everything is my fault. I'm not blaming anyone. Everything is my fault, from the posing to not being able to control myself post-show to me deciding to do the same show. It's all my fault. But you need to be a logical person and say, hey, if this didn't happen, if this person actually cared and paid attention and was diligent with what they were supposed to be doing, this would not be this bad, And it's like, I really have to work on myself a lot, because whenever resentment comes, I shut it down. I say, Dre, no, like, this is you. Like, you made this decision, So the moral of the story there, guys, is you need to pick a coach that cares about you. They don't have to be the best coach in the world. Obviously, they need to get the job done, but you need to pick someone who actually cares about you on a level deeper than just getting payment each and every month, okay? Now, as to when I found out I had a problem, I didn't particularly think I had a problem Actually, that's a lie. I knew I was messed up. Like, you're just eating like cookies, and you'll go get like literally a milkshake, and then you'll go to the Cheesecake Factory and you'll have like a crazy chicken parm sandwich, and it's like go to Buc-ee's and get like a club. And it's just, again, this is all the result of the aggressive dieting. It's a repercussion of that. And I was in Baton Rouge this weekend with Eric and Adam, and guys, not only did I feel bad, like not only was I breathing heavy because I was like eating so much food, like it was starting to concern my friends, and they were saying things to me like, you know, they were literally like, dude, like you need to stop. They were like, you actually need to stop because this is not like you. You've never had a big appetite before. Like we would go, like they would go out, we would go to 7-Eleven every night, like before prep and stuff. And like literally like these guys would like get donuts all the time, and I just never really would get anything. I've never been a big eater, right? And it's like these guys their discipline is 10 times mine, you know? And it's crazy because like it just goes back to the fact they're like, you've never been a big eater, like we're very, very concerned about you. And here's the next part of everything, okay? I was going to compete again, okay, in October of 23. Now, let me actually just say this. My intentions for competing again were 100% pure, okay? So many people, when they compete, they get on this like endorphin high, this dopamine rush, because like it's all about you. It's all about you for that show day. And then the show happens, and then it's just back to normal. It's called like post-show depression. It's a real thing. I didn't have that. I'm not like that. I kind of hate being the center of attention, right? So that's not me. I'm not sitting here trying to do shows to get attention. Not even to get attention. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to do shows on shows to keep that high going. I'm not. Like, all it was I got the feedback from the judges. Ozzy was right there with me. I got the feedback from the judges. They said more fluent posing. They said better conditioning, which I'm going to call bullshit there, but whatever. Like, if I was going to compete in that next show, I was going to come in about 7 pounds lighter. So I was still going to apply what the judges said. And they said bigger biceps. And my heart was in the right place. I really thought that I messed up, and it was my fault that my transitions weren't fluid enough because I got a little nervous. And I was like, let me go back and get this redemption. Like, my heart for competing was in the right spot. Like, I just wanted that redemption for me. I wanted to go back there and get again and do better for me. Like, there's nothing wrong about the intention behind competing, because to this day, I love it. There was no, I want the attention. I want the dopamine rush. I get sucked into the endorphins of being on that high and competing. Like, there was none of that. It was literally just like, I felt like I let myself down, and I felt like I let everyone else down who came to the show. And I was like, even though I didn't, because I brought an insane package, I would have let everyone down if I looked like shit, but I didn't. Like, I brought a great package. I didn't let one person down. And my head was in the right place. My heart was in the right place. So I was like, oh, I'm going to hop into prep again July 31st and compete on on October 21st, okay? And I decided that I just couldn't put myself through that again. And I'm going to explain why. So my friends are sitting there telling me, like, they're like, yo, like, you seriously need to stop, you know? And Eric, Lauren, Adam, Adrian were the ones that literally helped me, you know? They said that to me. And even, and it's so hard to talk about, guys. Like, so you're just sitting there and you feel like such a loser. Like, you can't stop eating. Like, you feel like so fat, and you look at all these fat guys and these fat dads at like bars, and when you're in high school and you're like, oh my gosh, like, how does it get to that point? And then you finally realize, you're like, oh, that's how it gets to that point. Like, you're literally you just feel like such a loser because you can't control yourself. And you're like, wow, like, I can't stop. It's like you're a drug addict. It's like you're a drug addict with food. And I totally understand how a drug addict feels now, because I've never been one, but I totally understand how a drug addict feels, because you literally, it's like you know you shouldn't do it. Your stomach or your body's telling you don't do it, but your mouth is just like salivating, and your mind's like, but I want to experience that flavor, and you just keep putting the food in your mouth. And bro, so basically last night I was at Eric's, and I was just kind of talking with them, and I left Eric's, and immediately I sent a voice memo to my current coach, Jacob, and I was like, bro, like, I cannot compete again. I was like, I cannot compete again. I cannot put myself through this again. I need to focus on getting my appetite regulated. I need to focus on healing. I don't even want to say healing my relationship with food, because that's like such, like, in my opinion, for me, like, that's like not what this is. Like, there's no, I have a damaged relationship with food. Like, I have to track everything. Like, no, like, that's the opposite. Like, I just need to work on making better decisions and snapping myself out of it. And let's go to how I snap myself out of it. I put myself in a position. I am currently part of Metabolic Mentor University. Shout out Vince Pitstick and Alan Kress for the ones that are teaching me how to become a certified functional nutritionist. And then I get 3 free months of coaching through signing up for that mastermind. So shout out to Coach Laura Tarbell. That's going to be the very next episode directly after this. She's putting me through a flush phase, and the flush phase was started Sunday. So as soon as I got back from Baton Rouge, I got my supplements, I got my groceries, and then I started flushing. And the thing with the flush is, and we're going to talk about that literally in this next video, what I'm going to do the flush, why it's a thing, how my hormones are going to be optimized because of this. You can't cheat on the flush. So I put myself in the position. I said, you're literally going to flush, and you can't cheat on the flush because you just spent $300 on supplements. And you're going to do this, and you're going to get your life together. And that's exactly what I did. I got up. I stopped feeling sorry for myself, because you do feel sorry for yourself. You feel, again, like you feel like a loser. Like you totally do. Like you feel like a fat loser. There's no other way to put it. And I picked myself up. I mentally said, you were stronger than this. And I started flushing. And now I'm flushing, and there's no urge to cheat on my flush. I will not cheat on my flush. I'm going to Austin this weekend. Not cheating on my flush, even while traveling to Austin, guys. Okay. And you're probably sitting here as an uneducated individual, maybe some of you, and you're going to be like, oh, that's so unhealthy. Like it's not. If I need to go out the night of the dinner, right, post show with Adam and Eric, and get a steak with literally just olive oil, because olive oil has extreme hormone nourishing properties, I can do that. If I need to get 20 pieces of salmon nigiri, I can do that, which is just like the salmon. Like, I'm allowed to do that. Like, I understand how to make educated decisions, but I'm not going to deviate from my flush, because if you deviate from the flush and you have these things like dairy, corn, soy, like all this stuff that you're not supposed to have on the flush, then you have to start all over. So I'm not going to cheat on my diet. And it's also cool because now, after the flush is done, I can work on adding things in like bagels and rice-based cereals and oats and stuff like that, which is going to be amazing. And from there, I made this decision, to pick myself up and flush. And I told Jake, I was like, yo, I'm not doing the show. And he was super supportive of me. And then Eric, great minds think alike, Eric and Lauren came over this morning, and he was just talking about this weekend. And I was like, bro, yeah, enjoy the weekend, because it's a privilege to compete, because I'm a very self-aware individual. I looked at him and I said, dude, I can't compete. I'm not going to do this again. I need to work on everything. I cannot compete so soon. And he's like, bro, that's actually what we were coming over here to talk to you about. And I'm just like, shout out to him, because he's such a support, and Lauren, such supportive friends, like approach it in such a good way, and it's funny because we were both, and again, I pride myself on being self-aware. I truly do. And I already had the same thought. And then from there, everything's amazing now. We're flushing. We're detoxing the body. We're flooding it with nutrients, and vitamins and minerals, phytonutrients, micronutrients, every possible thing we can. And we're on track, guys, and we're healing our relationship with food. After the flush is done, after 2 weeks, we're going to start adding in some other yummy foods. Like, I'm going to have some cereal, and I'm going to have some rice-based cereal. I'm going to have a couple bagels, but I'm not going to fall off the way that I did before, crazy shit. You wake up and you go get donuts. Like, I'll tell you what I ate the day we went to Baton Rouge, just so you can laugh. Okay. I woke up, I drove 20 minutes away, okay, to a gourmet donut shop called the Grove Donuts. And I got 2 bacon, egg, and cheese on glazed. Then I got a creme brulee donut. Then I literally went and got a strawberry cheesecake donut. Then I got a glazed cronut. Okay. I come back home and I literally go and train. Okay. After training, I had like 3 eggs, a bunch of lean ground beef, and like 3 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, like big ones, guys, like big ones. I get in the car, okay, with Adrian to go to Baton Rouge. I'm like, yo, can we stop at Buc-ee's? And he's like, yeah. So I get something I actually was craving all prep that I'm glad I got. I got the Buc-ee's Club, right? It's like turkey, ham, bacon, lettuce, tomato, and they're insane like sauce, like the Buc-ee's spicy sauce, right? I got one of those sandwiches. I got the famous Buc-ee's nuts, like the glazed cashews, right? Then I got like beef jerky for the road, okay? Like their sweet cherry beef jerky, a 1/4 pound, right? Then I went and got fudge, because that's another thing I was craving was fudge, right? Like I'm even craving it right now, but I'm not going to do it. Like I wanted 3 flavors of fudge, and the lady looks at me and she's like, yo, like we're running a deal. Buy 4, get 2 free. So I'm like, I already have 3. I might as well just buy the 4th. So that is there. So in the car ride there, kill the sandwich, kill the nuts, right? That's immediately. From there, I have a small piece of fudge. And then as the car ride goes on, I like snack on jerky, right? From there, I know it's messed up. We stopped at a gas station. Oh, and I got a Gatorade, okay? Like a full sugar Gatorade, which is like not bad, but it's bad in my situation. Got a Gatorade, right? Have a little bit of fudge. Get to the house, bro. Get to the house, like I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, dinner. So I look up DoorDash, right? Like restaurants near me. Literally, Carrabba's Italian Girls right there. Fettuccine Alfredo with shrimp, right? It comes in with that whole loaf of bread and a Caesar salad. I make like a dent in the fettuccine, because literally this is the problem, guys. My stomach's not hungry, but my mind is. So like I hit that wall. Ate the whole loaf of bread, I don't know, and then had some more fudge. Literally, put the salad in the fridge. I ate it the next day. But then literally, like Lauren has these Yasio bars. I'm chowing on those Yasio bars. And like no one was really concerned until the next day when I woke up and smacked that whole thing of fettuccine Alfredo for breakfast and had a square of fudge. Then we went and saw Eric's prejudging, and we went to a coffee shop after, and literally it was like, I'm not even a big coffee guy, but like, yo, I'll get down on like one of those like white chocolate caramel frappuccinos. So I get the largest flavor, easily 1,000 calories. Literally, I just look at the lady, and what is she supposed to say? I'm like, yo, are your breakfast sandwiches good? She's like, oh, they're amazing. I'm like, okay, bacon, egg, and cheese on everything. Smack it, like easy 2,000. You're just going and going and going. And then there's so many other things, but I'm not going to keep going. But guys, the moral of the story, right, is I felt like I was letting everyone down around me, and I felt like I was letting myself down. And that's literally because I was, okay? But that's how my show experience went. I would 10 out of 10 recommend it to everyone, which I know just sounds so crazy after everything I just told you. You just need to get a coach that you trust, that you know has your best interest at heart. But thank you guys so much. God bless you. Please like the video. Please comment if anything resonated with you. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we're going to disrupt the industry.
Yeah.